Oh man, are you serious?
What happened?
Don't tell me my drive is crashing again, man. It's just a lot of stress on this computer running all this shit. Oh man, sucks. It's gonna cost me some serious money. Let me know if you can hear your voice. I'm gonna see if this drive.
Okay. I've been practicing. I've been trying to get the feel of the OBS and doing little things on it. I'm still, I haven't recorded anything yet. I'm just working with like the visuals and stuff like that. So, and I just got to get the sound down. And once I get that right, and then I'll run a test and it should be good. I'll see how you transition and change things, We'll have to work it out. But shit, you still need your hard drive, regardless.
Yes, sir. Can you hear yourself?
I didn't get a notification. We went live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, let's try it. WMLR. Yeah. Good to go.
How hot is hot?
About my black brother, I love you, and I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you. These are things that change boys to me.
Every man has a higher self and a lower self. With your higher self, you can achieve greatness and things beyond this planet. With your lower self, you get your basic needs, but also to create darkness. Find your balance, king.
Hotep, children of the sun, and welcome. Your #1 station focused on rebuilding our nation. WMLR, More Life Radio, proudly presents Brother, 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 a show dedicated to the upliftment and encouragement of the melanated kings.
Yo, I ain't here for playing around, now wear the crown. King of New York, nah, now how that shit sound? King of the coast, nah, I cover more ground. King of oneself, yeah, that's how I get down. Yeah, my skin brown, that's that melanin. Ha, I'm wearing it proud, it ain't no telling when. Ha, they might come around screaming irrelevant. Ha, ain't gonna get down and plant the evidence. But I ain't here for playing around, now wear the crown. I ain't here for playing around, now wear the crown. I ain't here for playing around, now wear the crown. I ain't here for playing around, now wear the crown. Descended of kings and queens, and we don't know what that mean. Turn the palace to the projects and shatter esteem. But I'm here to let it be known, no matter the scene, they can't take royalty from your being. It's embedded in your DNA and your genes. $1,000 sneakers and jeans. You could invest in yourself and your dreams. Is you hearing me now? Them pedestal folks letting you down. Since James Brown said I'm black and I'm proud, they've been pumping us with the opposite. Dividing and conquer's pretty obvious. Misled and misguided.
No, I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believes that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything. Freedom. Anytime you beg another man to set you free, you will never be free. Freedom is something that you have to do for yourself. That we are really, really ready, willing to pay the price that is necessary for freedom. Our people will always be walking around here second-class citizens, or what you call 20th century slaves. What price are you talking about? The price of freedom is death.
Not T. The smarter, the harder the battle. Classism, blacks prison and slaughter like cattle. Divide and conquer's been a modern mantra. Put you in front of your honor.
Understood that the struggles, the gains that we made pass on to the people unconsciously, of course, as a disorganized people. We cannot do it properly. So when they yell at our youth don't know nothing about history, well, what organization did you join to help make sure that the history was institutionalized and passed on to the youth? None. Shut up. You can't send your child to the enemy and think the enemy will give your child his history. That's clear. So since you've made no effort at all to come together with those who want to give their children proper education, proper history of what's going on, now that your children don't know the history, don't be screaming at the children.
Okay, let's take another break, and when we come back, I would encourage you to speak up more forthrightly.
With your host, Khonsu, Shesnmu, Amun, and Tehuti, Virgo, exclusively on WMLR. Without further ado, all hail the king.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Saturday. Your one and only Khonsu, Shesnmu, Amun, and the man to my right, the one and only Khonsu, Shesnmu, Amun, and Tehuti the Fly Virgo.
How my mic sound? My mic
sounds nice, bro.
Nice.
Sounds nice.
Word. Welcome, everybody. It's been a tough week, but we here, baby. We here. Persevering. You know what I'm saying? Through it all. And so glad to have you here with us. It's your number one station dedicated to Black emancipation, WMLR, More Life Radio. Back at you on a Saturday, beautiful Saturday. I got some auto work to do today, Khonsu. I gotta do something, finish this brake job, man. It's been a rough week. How you doing today, brother?
Man, all is well, man. I really can't. You know, life handles you curves, but you just keep it moving. I'm breathing, so it's all well. It's all well.
Yeah. And don't complain to your women, fellas. Don't do it. Don't expect her to really understand. Okay? You just gotta push through it. You gotta find a way to just push through it. Just try your best to stay focused. It's very difficult on Black men out here in this world.
Well, yeah.
We just saw an election cycle that just finished, and more women were elected more than any time in history. History was made during this election.
Correct.
It was like 20 judges here in Texas, in the state of Texas, that ran, and they all won. Yeah. All Black men. Lot of diversity now in Congress, Khonsu. What do you think we're going to see different now that we see this wave? The woman's power is going to be demonstrated. What do you think is going to be different, brother?
I personally think politician is a politician. I'm kind of like Claude Anderson on this. I don't think it's going to be a gender issue because the political machine is got a certain way people flow and operate. So I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. I mean, the only thing that we're going to notice is that Congress is now a Democratic Congress. It's a bipartisan Congress. You got the Congress is Democratic, Senate is Republican. That's going to be interesting for Donald Trump going down the rest of his presidency. But I don't really think it's going to be much of a difference, King, because, I mean, the women that did take the seats, they're part of the political process. You know what I mean, King? I don't know. I don't see where it's going to be a power shift to help us at the end of the day. I don't know, though. I don't know.
I mean, let's look at the facts, okay? Let's just look at the evidence. I'll say it. Name one politician that ran and even won that talked about our issues directly toward us and the things that we need as people. to be able to do the things we need to do. And I'm not talking about handouts.
Right.
I'm talking about opportunities.
Right. Right.
We don't want your handouts. We want opportunities. We are creative. We are naturally creative and have the ability to take something and make something out of nothing as people. So name the politician that talked about that.
Yeah, no, none of them did, and they can't. Well, I won't say they can't. You're absolutely right, King, because this is why I'm one of the black people, black men, that like Donald Trump. I do like Donald Trump as a president, not as a person. Got nothing to do with that because I don't know him. I know that he benefits because he has white privilege. So, and I know that he has racism throughout his family. So I know that. And he's personally racist, whether he's progressively racist or just flat out a racist. One thing that he does, King, he speaks his damn mind. I'm gonna show you today. He speaks his mind. You don't have to worry about what Trump's thinking. At least he speaks outwardly, as opposed to what Obama did, which I think was just horrible. Him being the first black president, he did more damage for black people than any president I've known for black people.
Ooh, watch out now. You know they will whoop you over Obama.
Let him whoop.
And critiquing him about his job and performance. We did a show about it, and a lot of people caught flack for saying anything about Obama. He looked good. They look good. He sang Al Green well. He could sing and put on a show and crack jokes and drop the mic, and boom, watch it smoke. He did all of those things.
Yeah, that sounds good. But
it's what you want in a president. I don't know Donald Trump. I appreciate Donald Trump because he is showing exactly who he is. He's been going off on black women journalists now at all of these press conferences. He'll pick one and just go at her, at will.
Yeah.
Calling them racist. Look.
Well, I mean,
you can't be racist. You cannot be a racist. Black people cannot be racist. Please get that in your head when you have these conversations. Go ahead, bro.
Well, let me say this, man. We could damn sure be bigoted.
Yeah,
I'll say that. And it feels like racism. I'll tell you that much. It's damn near close because we do not love each other. We don't care about each other enough to wake up. We would rather stay in the position we're in. I am in the finance business. And let me tell you, I'm 100% for entrepreneurship for black people. We need black oligarchians, we need black capitalists, and we need to be social capitalists as black people. And you can't get it through our skulls. We want to go to work for somebody else. We comfortable, we scared, I don't know. We scared, all that. We scared. And even those that claim to be the Black Power, Kemet, Egypt, all that, they're not even willing to do what they claim they say they're going to do. They're not going to touch anybody white. They're not going to put their hands on anybody white, bro. They're not. They're not ready to engage in anything physical because they don't have a military or a bank. If I try to teach a black person how home economics, like, look, single fathers, single mothers, this is how you teach your children chores Monday through Sunday. They look at me like I'm talking Taiwanese, bro. You clean your countertops with bleach, or you do this, or they can't even do home economics, but they got a problem with politics. I don't understand. I don't get it, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep striving for my beautiful black people. But come on, black folks.
Yeah.
When is it going to be your turn to do your thing? Why are we waiting on a savior and a president? We need a savior in a block club president. We need a savior in a librarian, in a mother, and in a father. That's what we need a savior in. We don't. What are we waiting on the presidency to change our condition for? It's not designed to do that. The president's going to be a diplomat. He's not going to pick out, well, let me help black folks. He's not going to do that. That's not going to happen. But we can keep believing that, but that's not going to work, King. And, that's how I look at it from the political point.
The only way that that works is if we financially back a politician. We have to totally commit and financially back somebody who we believe is going to go and present our issues, because that's what politics is all about.
Right.
You have a representative, you know, and he has a constituency. That's us, the people that support this, him or her representative. Right. We're supposed to be putting money behind that person so that when they go to the table, they're talking about our issues. We don't get that. We still think it's a two-party system and that we're all on one side. And it doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. They're all the same.
Right.
They're all the same. We need our own. That's just it. That's just bottom line. And I'm talking past and beyond color of skin. Because every politician that goes in that has melanin in their system is not for us or our issues, Khonsu.
No, this is a fact, brother. This is a fact. You know, we do have to deal with that wholeheartedly. I think that we do have an opportunity to continuously progress, and that's what motivates me. I think that we're in a position to continuously progress as Black people, man. I really do.
Absolutely. There's an awakening. And people are starting to get it done. You know, we had to talk and kind of like this whole thing, get out and vote. It's amazing because I'm driving on the highways back and forth from work. They got billboards, right? Big word, vote. And it's amazing that we just fall in line with that. And a lot of us, Khonsu, we're trying to touch on this. We have technical difficulties. We're voting for these people, and we really don't know what it is they represent. You had some interesting perspectives on that ideology, brother.
Yeah. You know, I believe the voting process works. Now, I do. I believe that. However, voting for what, who, when, where, why, and how. What does each office represent? A lot of people just come out and say, go vote. You got to vote. You got to get out your vote. Well, who are you voting for and why? Why aren't you willing to teach the political process if you're a person of influence? I've seen Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce's cousin, Kelly Rowland, supporting all these political candidates without one iota of knowledge to go along with it, King. They haven't broke down why they're voting for them. They ain't broke down their office and how their office affects us. They haven't done any of that. They're promoting voting. But ignorant voting is just as bad as not voting at all. You cannot vote ignorantly. You have to have an educated voting process. If we understood that the local politics will ultimately influence the national politics, we'd really embrace voting more. And I know it's hard to do that because we have been emasculated and effeminated due to white privilege and white supremacy. We've done that. And because white Americans have an insecure issue with their social constructs, we can't see, well, how does this voting process work? It's not working for me. You got a stop sign, you got a red light, you got electricity, don't you? How do you think electricity is mandated throughout a city? With votes. So I understand the racial and social tension behind voting, but what about voter education? Whenever it comes to education, King, we look that way. Whenever it comes to fundamental education, we want the sensational media part, like tuning in somewhere to get you upset, like CNN and gaslighting. But we actually won't detach our emotions and learn things from a fundamentalist point of view.
Absolutely. Shout out to the chat room. Everybody chiming in. King Darren Marion back.
What up, D? Ratel SEO.
Vincere Atmori. Thank you. I like what he said. I love him or hate him. It's refreshing that Trump is delivering on his promises. What do you think about that? Well, no, you know what? Don't even answer that directly.
Yeah.
You got a presentation you want to get into about the different shades, different sides of Donald Trump. let's jump into that, man. And see, I got some things I'm gonna throw out there when we get through there, so y'all don't go nowhere. So
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the 50 Shades of Trump. I got a couple of clips, guys. So sit back and watch this, man. It's pretty interesting.
Statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to
try to keep... I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process. And I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign...
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his
butt.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
So let me ask you a question, if I can. You repeatedly said
you aren't the best,
Mr. President. You repeatedly over the course of the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course of the last several days of the campaign, sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said Democrats would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you pitting Americans? Why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
Peter, what are you trying to be him?
No,
Peter,
I'm just asking the question.
Let me just tell you, very simple, because they're very weak on crime. Because they have often suggested, members and people within the Democrat Party at a high level have suggested getting rid of ICE, getting rid of law enforcement. That's not going to happen, okay? We want to be strong on the borders. We want to be strong on law enforcement, and I want to cherish ICE because ICE does a fantastic job. So, what they do for us is it's so unrecognized how good a job they do. So we want to take care of them, and we want to hold them very close because they do a good job.
But the question, to be clear, though, the question,
Thank you very much.
Why are you
sit down?
But but you didn't answer my question. Just very simply, the question is, why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
I'm not.
Is that how you view citizens of this country?
I'll tell you what. We won a lot of elections last night. We did very well last night. And
but in many ways,
I think it's going to have a very positive impact. I watched NBC this morning. They didn't report it exactly correctly, but that's, that's the fact with NBC. Nothing I can do about that. But I want this country to have protection. We want security in our country. I want security, Peter. I mean, you maybe don't think it's so important. And I think when you don't have it, you are indeed unleashing crime. I feel that.
You said you would sign an executive order on birthright citizenship. Are you still going to sign the executive order on birthright citizenship?
You'll ask me that question a little bit later. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. The investigation by the special counsel Robert Mueller has been going on since last spring. It's been over your head.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been over your head, over Republicans' head, during the midterms as well. Is this an opportunity for you, Mr. President, to end that investigation? Would you consider removing Mr. Mueller from his position?
I could have ended it any time I wanted. I didn't. And there was no collusion. There was no anything. I didn't. They went after hackers in Moscow. I don't know about that. They went after people with tax problems from years ago. They went after people with loans and other things. Had nothing to do with my campaign. This is a investigation where many, many millions of dollars has been spent, and there's no collusion. It was supposed to be on collusion. There's no collusion, and I think it's very bad for our country. I will tell you. I think it's a shame. And a poll came out today, by the way, from NBC, or at least I saw it on NBC, where a majority of the people do not agree with the Mueller investigation, or it wasn't approved. They have approval and disapproval, and it had a much higher disapproval. It should end, because it's very bad for our country.
So if it's bad...
And I'm not just talking about the tremendous expense. And the other thing is they should look at the other side also. They only look at one side. They're not looking at all of the things that came up during this investigation. They don't do that. They should also get people that can be fair, not 13 or 14 or 17. I call them the angry Democrats. They are angry people. And it's a very unfair thing for this country. It's a very, very, forget about unfair to me, it's very bad for our country.
Okay. So, Mr. President, if it's
Go ahead.
Mr. President,
No.
just wait just a moment. If it's unfair to the country and it's costing millions of dollars, why don't you just
give him the mic,
it?
please? I've answered the question. Okay. Go ahead, take the mic. Well, I'll give you voters. I will give you voter suppression. You just have to sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I'll give you voter suppression. Take a look at the CNN polls, how inaccurate they were. That's called voter suppression. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm not responding. I'm responding to. Excuse me. I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Will you please sit down? Excuse me. Would you please sit down? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now that the House of Representatives
very hostile. It's such a hostile media. It's so sad. You asked me about. No, you rudely interrupted him. You rudely interrupted him. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do your demands remain the same to the United States Congress on immigration in exchange for a DACA fix, in exchange for an amnesty for 1.7 million? Are you willing to change any of those demands that you gave to Congress earlier?
I think we could really do something having to do with DACA. And what really happened with DACA, we could have done some pretty good work on DACA, but a judge ruled that DACA was okay. Had the judge not ruled that way, I think we would have made a deal. Once the judge ruled that way, the Democrats didn't want to talk anymore. So we'll see how it works out at the Supreme Court.
All right, King. Now, I'm going to quickly play this other one. I know this one was a little lengthy, but I wanted everybody to see the dialogue and the different reporters. This was interesting. This was an interesting exchange between the President of the United States and the media. We're talking about the President of the United States, guys.
Donald Trump's closest advisors. They have mixed business, politics, and crime to create great wealth and greater risk. So you can't grasp this era without understanding those forces and how a hustler's mindset applies to the laws of power. So tonight, we turn to an expert in the game, Grammy Award-winning hip-hop artist and businessman 50 Cent, who's rapped that friends can call him by his government name, Curtis Jackson. He's sold over 30 million albums, working with artists like Eminem, Dr. Dre. His hit In Da Club was #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 for over 2 months. It made Rolling Stone's list of the greatest songs of all time across all genres. He is a producer and an actor in the hit Starz show Power. He's also starring in the movie Den of Thieves with Gerard Butler. Jackson grew up in Queens, surviving a 9-shot gun attack, and took on the music industry itself with early controversial songs like Ghetto Quran and How to Rob, a fearlessness that clearly paid off, which he explores in The 50th Law, a book he co-wrote with Robert Greene. It all made him rich, and he's established deals in recording, book publishing, energy drinks, a champagne that retails for over $300. And Jackson made an estimated $50 million or more when his vitamin water stake was sold to Coke in 2007. Forbes has named him one of the top 5 wealthiest artists in hip-hop. 50 Cent, so excited to have you here.
Oh, man, happy to be here, Ari.
You know business, you know politics, you know power, and you know Donald Trump a little bit. You even had him on your G-Unit radio show in 2005. Let's look at that.
Oh, all right, 50. We got Donald Trump here.
I hear you on there with the big man.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm fine.
Well, you know, I have some kids, and myself included, but I have kids, they think you are the best, the absolute best. Wow. That's pretty cool, I'll tell you. My little daughter Ivanka and my son Eric, these people, they just love your music. Wow.
Oh, man, I'm going to keep making it.
Well, you're going to keep making it. You better keep making it.
A lot of laughs back then. What's changed?
Wow, I mean, a lot's changed. You know, I didn't know that he shared the views that he kind of showed people over the period that he's been the president. I did learn from his behaviors that he'll personalize things.
Personalize.
He will take it personal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm thinking about that book I mentioned by Robert Greene, and he describes you in it. He says 50 Cent's lack of fear is displayed by his attitude and his actions. He lived through too many dangerous encounters to be remotely fazed by anything in the corporate world.
Right.
And he wrote that you'd walk away and not care. And I want to ask you about that, because that really overlaps with some of your analysis about Donald Trump being an accidental president and not fearing anything when he was a candidate. Take a look.
His presidency is an accident. If
Now
you
listen,
were
guys.
president by accident,
listen to this.
You might do some of the things Donald Trump is doing. I think he was doing that to build his profile for a bigger deal on television and everything else.
How did you come to that view? Because a lot of people agree with that, and that's kind of scary if that's the reason he became president.
Yeah, I think it was a surprise to him when he actually won. You know, because he said things that were really graphic in the campaign. Just generally, people were into the idea of someone who was non-politician.
Now, people know you for your art and I think for your business. They may not know that, like the rest of us, you've been following the news in the Trump era. I want to show a little bit of something people may not have seen that you posted to your followers on the internet.
Right.
When the news first broke that Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer's home and office, was raided, you had no doubt what was going to happen next. Let's take a look at this.
He gonna snap. He gonna tell all of it. Michael like Trump, but he don't like him enough to go through that time for him. He ain't from the neighborhood.
You were proven right because he did flip. Why is it that you were so...
Yes, sir, King. Yes, sir. Yeah, your thoughts, King. Donald Trump and his many personalities, I'll say.
Yeah, without question. And Donald Trump in the hip hop era was a hero.
Yes.
And it's just funny how many people have forgotten that, man. And listen, this is no endorsement. I want to make that clear. I don't align myself with either party,
right.
Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. But what I can appreciate about Donald Trump is he's honest. He's honest about how he feels, and he has a way of doing things. He knows that he's famous for being an asshole. So he's going to be the best asshole he can be. That's his thinking. He's a narcissist. That's what it's all about. 50 Cent. Well, what they say, birds of a feather flock together, King. You know, like minds and all. We see what's going on with him. He's somebody who, you know, obviously holds grudges for a long time and will do anything to affect your being.
Well, that's why I wanted everybody to listen to the last part when he was on Hot 97. And what he was saying is what he would do is, hey, he won the presidency by luck. He wasn't expecting to become president of the United States. And 50 Cent does stunts to maintain and keep his image in the limelight. He's not really like that. And I think the problem is we put too much onus on media stars and expect them to be above anything but regular people. 50 Cent comes from a background similar to all of us, which is hardworking, single parent, no hope, and he worked his way to become what he is today. So he's still going to have a hustler mentality inside him but he's also a multi-million-dollar black man that's successful. So when I hear black man not this and black men not that, well then when I show your ass 50 Cent, it still ain't good enough, because then now he's in the Illuminati. But then if I show you myself or King Tehuti, we're not good enough because we don't have $1 million. So which one is it? How about a successful black man is a successful black man on any level? How about that? How about that? I think that works for me, because Donald Trump's going to be biased to who messes with him. So it's our turn to be biased. I'm not concerned with Donald Trump when my local school board doesn't protect my children that walk from school to home every day, or the bus drivers are not screened properly when they're riding these buses half drunk. I'm more concerned with that than what Donald Trump is doing, because Donald Trump been Donald Trump for a very long time. He called his own kids these people. He's been Donald Trump. This is not, and everybody's acting like Donald Trump came from Mars or something. I mean,
he sure did. And that was in a complimentary way. Yeah, he was complimenting them. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. So for me, City Fent, I need him to lay off the Ja Rule thing. Enough, man. Enough. The seats were funny. Now you talking about trying to buy his masters and things like that. Enough, man. Let it go. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about City Fent. I love Power. I love the show Power. I'm glad to see my people behind the scenes of these things. I really do. The Get Down, Nas, executive producer of that. I love those shows where I was just saying how amazing it is. You couldn't have ever told me that Ice-T would win awards for playing a cop on a long-running television show that he's a part of still to this day. You couldn't have told me that. Or that Ice Cube and LL Cool J would get together and buy up 22 sports television stations. Yeah. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I have, man. It's an amazing accomplishment. But no, they're in the Illuminati, man. They're no longer black. They're sellouts.
No.
Those guys are sellouts, guys, because they're successful. Come on, too. There's no way a black man can be successful in America. No way.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. And we got to get away from those things. I was an Illuminati chaser for a moment. I'll admit it. Okay, so I feel your pain. I know what drives you. You are a researcher. That's what you are. If people are calling you a conspiracy theorist, you're a thinker. You think outside the box. You just got to learn how to tone it, how to control it.
Right,
it's like mutant powers. You got to learn how to use your mutant powers properly.
And it's true, because I do think that there are a lot of conspiratist things going on due to the fact and the nature of this government. There has to be a lot of black ops things going on because we're the major power, if not the number one power in the world. We have the number one military on the planet. So quite naturally, it's a lot of things that we have to do that they say, quote unquote, for the benefit of the public, they don't tell us. So we understand that. And we also know that is that we being stereotyped and marketed. I live in Chicago, Illinois, King. Let me tell you, this town is a Democratic town. Always has been, always will be. And guess what? We still get shot 17 times because we got a butter knife in our hands. We still get pulled over. We get disrespected with all these Democrats. Democrat and Republican, there is no difference, guys. Those are just titles. It's a political process. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with, okay, you know what? The Democrats going to look out for me. No. If you understand politics, you vote for who serves you best. You may vote Democratic for this guy, Republican for this guy, libertarian for this guy. I liked Ron Paul. When he ran for president, I actually voted for Ron Paul. I liked him, right? So everybody has a choice in that process, but we feel as if we don't have a choice because we're not marketed as being valuable. But we have a GDP of 1.4 trillion. Our gross domestic product in America is 1.4 trillion. We are the biggest consumers on the earth.
on the earth.
In America, and I'm not talking about all the other black people around the world. I'm talking about just Northern America. We consume more products than anybody else, any other ethnic group on the planet. Yet we talk to each other about how helpless we are. I don't get that, man.
We are, you know, we are never, we have to learn to be happy and satisfied. And it's a mindset thing. That's really all it is. It's really a mindset thing. But I think we'll get it together. We're working on it. We're growing. We're expanding. Those of us who feel it and know and see it, using all three eyes, you're getting the research, you're getting the knowledge. That's what we encourage you to do right here at WMLR More Life Radio. Get it for yourself. Get that knowledge and teach the young people. It's them. They need to know. We've got to be teaching our young people the right things. Stop trying to live vicariously through them, but teaching them the right things that they're going to need to make a change. That's what we need to be able to do.
Did you say vicariously?
That's what I said, vicariously. I like that word.
You know some people who do that, huh, King?
Oh, man, well, you know, let me say this, okay? There's a difference between a mom and a dad. Right. And I think that not all, but the majority of the moms in our generation do this. They live vicariously through their children. In essence, what you're basically doing is you're crafting their life the way you wanted yours to be. And so because you're beyond that point and you can't really do it that way, now you have your seed and you have the finances and you have the abilities and the means.
You have the power over your child.
To shape and build it the way that, you know, what you wanted to do when you were a kid. I think that's good at some levels, but as with anything, too much of it becomes a problem.
Man, it does, man. That's so deep, King. It's on so many levels, man. We may have to do a separate show on that. You know, the domestication of our children. It's almost like domesticating a dog or a cat. You know,
it is.
Because you can't take a wild lion and domesticate it because they ain't never been subject to domestication. But because of the hundreds of years of domestication that we've been subject to, we transfer that domestication on our children. I'm guilty of it. We've done it. We've had to check ourselves sometimes.
I am too. You know what I'm saying? And I see it. It's amazing. And I see it. And I try to get them again to learn how to master that power that they have.
No doubt.
I look at it like that.
No doubt.
All right, man. When I'm looking at the time, man, let's do it. It's time to raise the elevation. Y'all, we're not going to hold you for very long today. We're gonna keep it moving. So let's raise the vibrations for him, Khonsu, and and we'll be back with the letter. We do have the King's Council corner, and we've got a letter that we're gonna read and do it like that. All right, WMLR, More Life Radio. Do your thing, man.
Oh man. All right, everybody. Of course, you know the brother music cluster. Tehuti the Fly Virgo this time, y'all. Sit back and listen. And
it's wait. Okay, before you push play, we gotta recognize and pay homage to the late great Gerald Levert today. This is the anniversary of his transitioning, November 10th.
Yes, sir.
I don't do the numbers and how many years it's been, because if you love Gerald's music like we did, then you know how long it's been. It's been too long, right? So all of that doesn't matter. Today, it marks the anniversary. And so I wanted to give a little love and pay some homage to Gerald Levert, man. If that's all right with y'all, if we can do that.
Yes, sir. It sounds good. We got to do it. That's Gerald. That's Levert, man. That's my man. Hold on. I think we have it. Okay, there it is. All right, guys. The brother music cluster, man. WMLR. We'll be right back, guys.
On WMLR, More Life Radio. to Black Emancipation. WMLR, More Life Radio. WMLR, More Life Radio, your #1 station dedicated to Black emancipation.
Do you think that you can swing my way? Come on, come on. Do you think that you can swing my way? Swing my way. Long time no see. Damn, you look good to me. I'm so glad to have you back now. Thought that we could reminisce over a glass of wine, kicking about old times. Do you think that you could swing my way? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you think that you can swing my way? Oh, how I miss your smile. I miss your jazzy style. Don't look at me like that. Ooh, you're bringing those feelings back, so won't you step on by. I know you miss me too. Girl, we could roll all night just like we used to do.
It's Saturday, and it's time to
feel the beat.
WMLR, More Life Radio.
Doing silly things that lovers do. Nothing else mattered but me and you. We'll be together for eternity. Just you and me. I remember all those times spent in each other's arms. Why can't we try to do it all again?
I sat down and I really thought about how you make me feel. And I figured I should tell you. I'd say something like this. La da 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 da. I want you here by my side. Without you, see, I'm only half alive. Please say that you'll always be the girl, the only one for me. Ever since you came into my life, I've been so happy, baby. I wanna tell the world that I love you, baby. How much I love you. My love is so real, so true. You're so baby. You squeeze a bone, you
Yeah, man. Yeah, big up to Gerald Levert, Sean Levert. Man, we've lost so many great artists, songwriters and vocalists, and then all of just creators. And we still hearing it. I don't want y'all to be dismayed or be confused or led astray, because there are some young people that are doing it. They are making some incredible music, R&B, hip hop. I'm a huge Anderson .Paak fan. I can't wait for Oxnard to drop. Dr. Dre, heavily produced by Dr. Dre. I just heard another release yesterday. It's all right. It's not, it's a different type of style, but it's not what I want to hear. So I'm excited about the album. I know it's going to be some heat on there. It's a lot of young people keeping it going and keeping up the art form. So shout out to the real musicians. And that's why we play the music, just so that you know we didn't create any of that. It's not ours. We don't own the rights to it. We promote it so that you would be inspired. You might have heard something that you haven't heard before. That's what I hope to do, Khonsu. I always hope to stunt, and play something that you haven't heard before. So I hope I did that.
Well, it was bomb. The cluster's always bomb, guys. We really pride ourselves on delivering really good music. Old school radio was a mixture of information and music, and we're music lovers at heart. So that's what it is, and I'm really proud of what we do. Man. That's what it is. So
yeah, because Khonsu is dope at it as well. Make sure you check out the playbacks, y'all. We try to get the little testers out, so you can go right to the shows, and hope you enjoy it. And don't forget to hit the like and the bell for the notification. That way you get notification. We had some technical difficulties this week, but we had to push through it, and here we are. So we appreciate you for being here with us and being patient as well. All right, Khonsu, let me see, what else? Oh, did you hear about the whole Wendy Williams and Judge Mathis situation?
No, I didn't, man. I'm not a Wendy Williams fan. She's a bum. She's a bum. That's all she is.
She's going to learn the right ones and the wrong ones to try to go after. And she had Judge Mathis on the show. I was going to send you the clip, but I know how, we get busy and last minute and everything. So,
right.
But yeah, y'all check that out. I don't know. I don't like Wendy Williams at all. I really, truly don't. Her whole career has been to attack and to tear down her own people. I've seen her. I haven't seen her go after anybody else. I've heard that she does. I haven't seen it. So I'm just speaking from, like that. Right. I don't watch her shows or read anything that she publicates or anything like that. I don't deal with her, but I thought it was hilarious because Judge Mathis let her ass have it. He came ready with the little rumors and stuff about her too, because she tried to go there with him, how he had cheated on his wife and he was doing cocaine and all of these things, and he dispelled them as anybody would, like that. None of that's true, and he was kind of perturbed, you could tell, but he let her have it, man, and it was hilarious. He let her have it. Told about her 8 abortions. She went to stumbling over her words. He was letting her have it. He's like, yeah, I know about your cocaine use, Wendy. Matter of fact, I saw you coming out of the bathroom and you're sniffing and stuff. He was letting her have it. It was funny, man. So she better learn who she can go after. What you would think after Whitney and Mariah Carey and Omarosa, and now you got to add Judge Mathis to that list. Wendy Williams, the business. I love it.
Yes, I love it too. Thank you, Judge.
Oh, yeah. I got to give a mighty shout out to my Wolverine Nation. You know what I'm saying? Go Blue. We know what it is. We're not mistaken. We're not looking past anything. There's only one. There's only one game that matters. And we know what that game is. And we ready this year. And we coming. Go Blue. Y'all know who I'm talking to. I ain't gonna even say your name. That state down south. How about that?
Roll Tide Roll. That's all I got to say.
Roll, this is Big Ten conversation.
Roll.
We roll over Tide, please. And we gonna see y'all, but right now, there's only one. we gonna deal it to Rutgers today, and then it's
Rutgers.
Michigan week
That's
in
cute.
Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to my family and loved ones in Columbus, Ohio. I got a lot of family and loved ones there, and go blue, yeah. And Deshaun, how you doing, brother? I'm gonna speak directly to you on this one. I know you know. You're a football mind, and you see with all three eyes when you watch football. And I know that you know, brother. Go blue. All right, man. All right. Let's I love you too, King. You already know, man. Hey, it's about that time. Our rivalry goes 10 years. 10 years or better, where it's one side is getting it. We've been getting dealt. They've been beating us. So yeah, we ready. We hungry, baby. This is the year of the revenge tour right here. 2018. We about to get it in. So it's going down.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get this letter in. We got a letter, man, and I want to read it to y'all and see what you think. Chop it up a little bit. Try to help somebody out. Remember, you can send a letter to us, moreliferadio@gmail.com. If you know somebody that might be going through it or dealing with something like that, anything, talking about anything. It's the Kings. That's what this show is for. It's to elevate the Kings, to do what we can, to carry out our assignment. So that's what we're trying to do. WMLR, your #1 station, dedicated to Black emancipation. Let's get it, man. Set it off.
And now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the King's Council, exclusively on WMLR, More Life Radio, your #1 station dedicated to Black emancipation. And now, all hail the Kings, the Kings, the Kings, the Kings, the Kings.
Yes. Man, every time I hear that, I think James Earl Jones, they riding in the stretch limo. Ohan! Collect the royal baggage. My son works. It's my jam.
Yeah, man. Powerful music. All right. So we got a letter here, and let me see if they put a name on it. No, let me see. Okay, it says, and y'all bear with me because I try to read it as they write it, and unfortunately, some of us not so much hooked on phonics as we should be. Bless your heart. I'm not much at typing, so I'm gonna head and see what you brothers think about this. My homie banging wannabe thug rapping son is going out with my daughter, and that ain't cool with me. I don't know how long that boy been messing with my daughter. Me and my homie been friends since high school, about 15, 20 years or so. We started having kids about the same time. Now he got 4 boys and I got 1 girl. She's 16 and just had my boy. We always made sure the kids grew up together. Our family's been close. When our kids got old enough to start talking and understanding what family is, we told them to call each other cousins because me and my homie is brothers. Feel me? Feel me? I moved out the hood about 10 years ago and bruh's still there. So his kids be acting like they environment, I told my daughter, leave his ass alone. She say, okay, but I ain't slow. Now the kid like a nephew to me because I watched him grow up. But if he ain't to be no son. That's interesting. He's 17 with 1 kid already. He don't work. He ain't got no goals. He hang with the thugs and play Xbox. And my homie ain't understanding. He act like he's pissed off because I'm pissed about it. Folks act like they don't get why it's a problem, but I'm about to blow, brothers. D Rich. Oh, I guess we used funny names on this show. Pops ain't going. That's the name he chose. Pops ain't going. Okay. Well, Brother Khonsu, I always like and value your perspective. You and your homeboy, y'all, you know, his son is a little thug, wannabe rapper, and he's liking your daughter. How do you, what do you do about that, man?
Well, okay, we're going to have a conversation. You know, we're going to talk, and I'm going to talk to the young man and say, look, man, I was once your age, and yeah, my daughter's, you know, she's beautiful, isn't she? She's a beautiful lady, and, you know, that's how I raised her. She's a lady, okay? She's not a thought. She's not a slut, all right? And I expect you to treat her as a lady. Now, what you do out there in the street is your business, okay? But my daughter, you're going to treat her like a lady. You're going to bring her back at a respectable time. And if need be, maybe I should chaperone you guys. I'm going to trust that she does not need a chaperone. So I don't need you to give her any emotional problems and put too much pressure on my daughter. You guys go out and you have a great time. By the way, I hear you're a thug. Let me tell you this. If you do something wrong with my daughter, I'm going to hurt you severely. And I'm not really being funny. This is exactly what I would tell him. I'd give him an opportunity because I don't want to embarrass my daughter. I don't want her to rebel or feel like, you know, I'm belittling her. So I'm going to let him know that this particular sister right here is a lady. This is a lady, a young one at that. So you're going to have to be a gentleman. That's just how it is, kid.
Yeah. The communication has to be there with you and your seed. A lot of times, you know, our children are afraid to tell us certain things. Now, even though I have a wonderful relation bridge with my children, I know that there are some things they're not going to tell me, simply because that's just the nature of it. I just only hope that they make the right decisions, and I'm going to support them as long as they're not breaking the law, hurting anybody, or being hurt, most importantly. And so that's just where I'm at. I just want them to be able to come to me and talk to me, you know, or I can come to them and talk to them. So I would definitely talk to my daughter first and say, listen, that's not the type of boy that you really want to deal with. You just make sure y'all stay friends. And if he touch you and put his hands on you, you let the dad know, okay?
Please.
I love you. Yeah. You let the dad know I'm gonna get his ass.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Won't be no news for this.
The worst thing you can do, I think, and this is just my opinion, Khonsu, and you tell me what you think. The worst thing we can do as parents is try to dictate when our children get to a certain point, their senior year, 17, when they get that age, 18 years old, they want to feel like they're making their own decisions. And that's cool on some things. And then some things they're going to need a little advice. You just have to find the correct way to give it to them. So in you, what we were talking about earlier is socialization. We socialize our children from birth. We teach them all the little things. And we were talking about living vicariously through our children. We socialize them and train them to be and think a certain way. But when they get older, they start developing their own thoughts, their own perception of things. We have to respect that as parents. I'm not saying don't have your presence there and let them know that at the end of the day, yeah, if right comes to right, you're going to make the decision why they are children, without question.
That's right.
But at the same time, when you, if the girl likes this boy, and you go out, King, and try to make it to where she can't like him, I don't want you talking to him, all you're going to do is push her right to the boy. That's all you're going to do.
Yeah, that's okay, Deshaun, you're funny, man. He said I'm going to show him the teeth marks on my knuckles.
See, if you do that, Sean, you got a whole think about what that is going to bring your way. Think about that. You show him the teeth marks on your knuckles. This would probably work. I would imagine this works. See, this one from 19.
See, this from last week.
Yeah. Man,
I feel you, King. I feel you.
You still have to, you still let them know that you are a presence. But yeah, when you get to, you just want to find the appropriate way to present it to her and talk to her about it, and be real. Whatever you do, don't let
keep it 100.
Don't let your crowd catch you lying. Don't let your
game, set, and match.
Don't do it. There's a scripture for my biblical scholars out there. There's a scripture that said, "Parents, do not provoke your children to wrath."
Come on.
That's there for a reason. I'm just saying.
Oh man, these are facts.
I'm just saying. So we got to get wise when we're raising our youth. We got to make sure we're projecting the right energy, because they're watching. I'm learning it as I'm still learning and evolving as a dad. So I'm just taking the knowledge and applying it, and just hoping. That's all. That after a minute, because they on their own. Like Sean's son, big, handsome, man, young man. This dude is going to be doing great things in a minute. He's about to be out there in the world on his own, Sean. You know what I mean? And he'll call you, "Hey, Dad," but ultimately he's going to be making his own decisions. He's already doing it now. Their senior year, they're making their own decisions. They were doing it really before that, but definitely senior year, no doubt.
No doubt.
All right, man. All right, but yeah, that's all that I got for him, man. Let's get ready to get on down. I'm gonna say good afternoon, y'all. I got to get rolling, get some finish my brakes. I'm working on my car, so I want to get that knocked out. Yeah, it's all good. It's not raining. That's the main thing. It's cool outside, but it's not raining. So
yes, sir.
Everybody be safe today, and enjoy your weekend and your time off of work if you got it. If not, enjoy it later when you get off. Go Blue. We're about to serve Rutgers up. I think we're gonna beat them. We're gonna score 70 on Rutgers today. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We're gonna score about 70 points on Rutgers, and then get ready to go into Columbus next week and wreck house, tear up that toilet bowl they got down there in that state down south on the ass of Michigan. Yeah. All right, man. Hey, I love y'all though, for real. I love y'all for real. I do. And remember, I always tell you, whenever you feel like you're nearing the end of your rope, tie your knots. Keep hanging, keep remembering that there ain't nobody bad like you. And I don't mean bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. Peace, family. Take them home, Khonsu.
Peace, power, and prosperity. I wish that for each and every one of you on this beautiful Saturday. Keep striving, man. Keep loving life and keep living, loving life. Most definitely, everybody. It's your one and only Khonsu, Shesnmu, Amun, and Tehuti the Fly Virgo. One life, one love, y'all. Peace and power. We'll see you next time on Brother, y'all. Peace.
Every man has a higher self and a lower self. With your higher self, you can achieve greatness and things beyond this planet. With your lower self, you get your basic needs, but also can create darkness. Find your balance, King.
God bless the King, homie. 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 Coming, we got roots in coming. Mansa Musa, now a rap producer. God bless the King, homie. God bless the King, homie. My Nefertiti feed me fettuccine. My Nefertari cook me calamari. God bless the King, homie. God bless the King.
king, homie. I'm King Arthur, the king of the authors. William the Conqueror writing apocryphas. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. My Cleopatra fucked the illest rapper. I'm King Solomon writing them songs again. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. I'm Imhotep in that limo stretch. Emperor Ming when I enter the scene. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. My queen Isis, she know I'm the nicest. My queen Elizabeth thick on some stripper shit. God bless the king, homie. Talk to her. God bless the king, homie. Ramesses is what the camera sees. King Taharka, autographing with a Sharpie marker. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. The poet laureate, poet Moet in the Lord Ferrari. Yes, y'all don't know my story yet. My people's burden, I'ma carry it by any means necessary. It's the way I was raised on that Pharaoh shit. God bless the king, homie. 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 Go Alexander on you salamanders. Go Genghis Khan like a genius done. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. Like King Snake, spine of the Mayans, we giants. Amada Montezuma, I'm a llama shooter. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. I'm Xerxes versus Worth Cheese. I'm Chief Sitting Bull, I keep getting pulled. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie. I'm Shaka Zulu, they thought it was voodoo. They play the trumpets when crooked is coming. God bless the king, homie. God bless the king, homie.